Welcome, Brash Sports Pick'em Pandemonium, a Brash Plus exclusive. Brash Plus, the hottest content at the highest prices. I'm joined by Brandon. We're going to run through our pick'ems for this week. What do we got? Week 11 now, Brandon? Are we that deep in the season already?
We're already one game into week 11, and I'm already 0-1 on my picks.
Ooh, I'm already 1-0, baby. Let's go. All right. Well, no reason to beat around the bush. We can right into our picks. I mean, if you want to recap Thursday real quick, the Titans beat the Packers in Green Bay 27-17. You had the Packers, I had the Titans. It was an ugly game for Green Bay, but
I pulled the old flip-flop, and now I have a new rule. No more flip-flopping. Once I made my picks, I got to stick with it. I flip-flopped with because the Packers were at home, and they're coming off of that big win against the Cowboys. I thought they could maybe string back-to-back, and the Texans gave them an opportunity, but the Packers looked like just, once again, a shitty team, and I will never be able to pick the Packers again. That's it. Done. Out on the Packers.
Yeah, there are very few situations where I think they have a matchup advantage. But I will say this. Give yourself a little leeway on changing picks. Like if injuries come up or something, you want to be able to change your picks. But for the reasons that you did, I think are why you're upset. Because it was just like you overthought it, right? Sometimes you just have to go with your gut. You know what I mean?
So I know. You just got to make your picks and be happy. Yeah, if injuries occur, especially to a starting quarterback, by all means, make a switch. But it wasn't necessary, and I paid for it. So I'm now sitting at 88-62 is where I'm at now for the season.
Oh,
which I'm sure you must be at like 93, 94, right?
I'm at 93 and 55 is my official record. Remember, I had a couple picks that were off the record, but we're not going to count those.
I thought it was just that one. No,
I think I have one win and one loss off the record. So now I'm just like, whatever's off the record doesn't count.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that ranks me 6,249th on ESPN. Feeling pretty good about that. That's not a bad number considering how many people do this stupid shit.
6,000?
Yeah.
Wow, just those few. You mean 5 wins over me, but I'm at 52,000. So wow, it's amazing how
52,000
every little win counts. So let's see if I can gain some ground on you. Let's kick things off with the Chicago Bears headed to ATL, Hotlanta, to take on the Falcons. Falcons currently favored by 3, over under sitting at 49. Who you got, Josh?
I've got the Bears. I think, and I like the Bears matchup a lot this week. That offense, high power, Justin Fields figuring things out. Atlanta doesn't have a huge home field advantage, so that means nothing to me. And also, weather won't be a factor, right? So Justin Fields indoors, it's going to be a track race. I love it. I also love a high-scoring game here. I think over 49 is the play. But I would take Bears and the points in this one, and I'm picking Bears straight up to win in Atlanta.
All right, well, I'm picking Atlanta right off the bat. Well, I guess this is back-to-back where we differ, but I'm going with Atlanta. They played that Thursday game, tough out against the Panthers. Panthers are, at least under PJ Walker, seem to be performing better. Won't be the case this week with Baker Mayfield stepping back in, but the Falcons had more rest because of that Thursday game. They are 3-2 at home. Bears are 1-4 away. Give me the Falcons to win a close one.
Good stat. I like those stats, Brandon.
You like that shit?
Those stats. I'm not changing my pick, but I like those stats. Moving on to our next game. Browns heading into Buffalo, but not really. They're going to be playing this one in Detroit because Buffalo has 6 feet of snow on the ground. Have you seen pictures from the stadium?
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
They made a good call moving that game to a neutral, neutral field, and
you can't even see the chairs in the stands. It's nuts. Like 5.5 feet.
Now, real quick, they're going to Detroit. Who is closer? I just assume Cleveland's closer to Detroit.
Cleveland's much closer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
you'd have to like go into Canada to get to Detroit from from Buffalo. But yeah, Cleveland's much closer. So I don't know if that means they're going to have an advantage in the stands, right? Like I don't think enough people are going to make that trek in order to make it a home field advantage for them. But it certainly takes it away from the Bills. But I don't think that matters here. Bills are favored by 6. The over-under is 49.5. This is another one where I think it's going to be kind of a quiet stadium, indoors. I think Bills put up a lot of points here, and I think Bills get the win. But I think the Browns could keep it close. I'm staying away from the spread. I'm not touching the Browns ever again in any bet. So I took the Bills in this one, even though they moved it away from their home stadium.
Bills, who are currently favored by 8 points, they absolutely, according to ESPN, unless the line changed when I printed this morning, which is possible.
Oh, I might be looking at an old line. Okay.
The Bills absolutely need this one to avoid a 3-game losing skid. Can't afford to lose to the 3-6 Browns, who have lost 5 of their last 6 games. Give me the Bills making up for their previous 2 losses, getting back on track at 7-3 on a neutral field in Detroit.
Yeah, I like that. I like
over-unders at 49.5.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, we don't have to entertain that, but I probably would hit the under on that one.
Ooh, under.
I like the under on that one. Yeah.
If it was outdoors in Buffalo in some weather, I would say under.
It's a good point. They're in a dome, right? Okay, yeah.
They're in a dome, neutral field, quiet.
Okay. I wouldn't put any money on it. I'm not putting any money on it. So.
I'm staying away from that for sure. But gun to my head, I'm probably taking the over. But I'm staying away from that. Who knows?
All right, we'll move right along to our next 1:00/12 noon kickoff, depending on where you are, Josh. The Philadelphia Eagles headed to Indy to take on the 4-5-1 Colts. Eagles, of course, coming off of their first loss of the season at the hands of the Commanders, but they are 4-0 away from home. They're the road warriors right now, and I am not going to discount the Eagles after one loss, which was a close one. Even though they only had 20 minutes of possession, they still were very much in that game, had an opportunity until the end. Eagles currently favored by 6.5. Give me Philly to bounce back and get to 9-1 against the Colts.
Yeah, I think Philly wins this game easily. So many people jumped off of the bandwagon, and I don't understand why. Washington's a good team. They're in division, so they know each other well. Division games are almost always going to be closer than non-division games. Eagles are miles ahead of the Colts in terms of talent on the field, and I don't know. It just doesn't make sense that everyone's bailing on them. I think they're going to come out and be pissed off and play like they're pissed off and punch the Colts in the mouth. I think 6.5 is a good line to take the Eagles by. I think they're a touchdown better. If it was 7.5, maybe it gets a little dicey, but a 6.5 spread for the Eagles, I'm taking that all day, and I picked them straight up, obviously. So, yeah, Eagles. Say no more.
Look for Jalen Hurts to make a point of running the ball. He's going to be using his legs in Indy. Watch. He's going to have one hell of a day on the ground. So if you got Jalen Hurts on your fantasy, which you wouldn't be benching him anyway, but he's going to have a great day.
Take him off your bench.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good point. Like rushing props, I could see him having a good rushing day too. Rushing props, I like.
Yep. All right. Well, good. We should take a closer look at that after our pick'em pandemonium.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Jets. The Jets are traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. Is this their second matchup with the Pats? I have a feeling it is.
It is, and the Patriots won the first round in New York, from what I remember.
Yeah, you and I. That's right. You and I both had the Pats that day. I don't know where you stand this one, but Patriots currently favored by 3.5. They're not, they're at 500, 2-2 at home. Jets 4-0 away, which is interesting. Jets and have the better overall record at 6-3, whereas the Pats are at 5-4. But this is when the Jets away streak comes to an end. Give me the Pats winning another close game against the Jets.
This is one where I made the pick, and then midweek I was looking at them, and I had a gut feeling, and it made me change it. So originally, I'm thinking young quarterback on the road in New England, Belichick dominates. Picked the Patriots.
Okay.
Midweek, gut feeling, don't know why. I just said, I think the Jets are just going to go in there and win it. And I don't have any real logic or reasoning behind it. It's going to be hard for me to make a case. I just feel like they're going to be hungry for a win. They're sick of Belichick beating them up. Robert Saleh's got a good team. I think Mac Jones against that defense is going to be real ugly. I see a low-scoring game here. I think the under is a very safe play. And if it's going to be close, I kind of trust the Jets a little more, and I don't know why. I just more of a gut feeling than anything. There's no reason to think the Jets would win here, but that's kind of why I'm taking the Jets. So, New York, let's go, baby.
That one is definitely a coin flip. I'd stay far, far, far away from that one for all gambling purposes.
Definitely. And under. I think the under is a play. I would play the under there.
Okay, yeah, okay. The under at 38. Yeah, maybe so.
To me, it's like a 17-14, like maybe a 16-13 type game. Neither offense is going to be. So we have two mediocre offenses, bad weather, bad quarterbacks, playing great defenses.
Yeah, you're right.
That just to me makes a lot of sense for the under. Like I said, a 16-13 type game. And yeah, who comes out on top? I don't know. Flip a coin.
All ESPN users are currently split. It is at 50-50 for the time being.
Oh, you're right. That's wild. You never see that.
I know.
Wow.
True coin flip right there. Stay far, far away from it. Let's go to another coin flip. The LA Rams, your defending Super Bowl champions that have not looked as such so far this season, sitting at 3-6 there, headed to the Big Easy to take on the New Orleans Saints, who are at 3-7. I mean, Rams 1-2 away, Saints 2-4 at home. There's really, you reminded me before we started our recording here that Stafford will not be playing. Even though I don't think that would have the biggest difference, I think Cooper Kupp not playing is the reason I'm probably leaning towards the Saints in this one at home to win an ugly game again. Between two ugly teams, two ugly offenses right now. So they are sticking with Andy Dalton in New Orleans. So again, it's pretty evenly matched. But I got the Saints winning a close game. A lot of close games I have for this week.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of close games on the docket. This could go either direction, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's going to be kind of a low-scoring close game. Again, boring, I know. Fucking broken record, I know. But I like the Saints as well. I mean, I can't think of a reason to pick the Rams right now, but I do love the Saints at home. I mean, talk about a home field advantage. They've got one. They've got a significant one. So if it's a toss-up, give me the home team with that crowd, just drinking hurricanes and going nuts. Yeah, that's it. Saints.
Vegas likes the Saints too. They're currently favored by 3. ESPN users slightly favoring the Rams, which is surprising to me. They're at 54% right now. So,
yeah, I'm sure a lot of people rush through and go, "Oh, Super Bowl champs versus a 3-7 team." Yeah, okay. But I don't. On paper, the Rams they're good, but they've not been playing good this year. So, Saints.
All right. Well, let's head to MetLife, where the Lions will be taking on the 7-2 G-Men, who are good at home. Giants are 4-1 at home this season. Who was their only loss against at home?
The Who did we lose to at home? Oh
Oh,
my God, I'm drawing such a
come
blank
on,
right now.
Giants fan. Well,
Cowboys? I think the Cowboys loss was in New York.
okay. All right. Well, it's a divisional matchup. Giants
Yeah.
are currently favored by 3 in this one. I think that's surprisingly low against a Lions team that struggles away from home. They're 1-3 away. They won that shootout against the Bears last week, but I'm going with the Lions. That's right. I said it. I'm going with the Lions, Josh. It's going to be a big upset in New York. Nothing to do with the fact that the Giants are in the Skins division. I just think this is setting up at one of those textbook trap games for the Giants where everybody anticipates they're going to win. They're 88% right now from ESPN users, as well they should be. But can they get to 8-2? They very well can. And of course, if they win, it would not surprise me. They should win. I just think the Lions are going to surprise them. I think they're going to catch them off guard, and they're going to be able to steal a victory against your Giants somehow, some way.
Yeah, I think I'm usually really hesitant to pick the Giants. I feel like any given week is the week that we're gonna slip up and let a team that has a worse record than us beat us. I did look it up, by the way. It was the Cowboys that came into MetLife and beat us. Um, but I really think that we're a matchup nightmare for the Lions. They can't stop the run, and we've got the best running back in the league right now. So I I just think that the Giants kind of play the field position, ball control game, and rely on our defense to kind of slow their offense down. Aside from last week, which was a bit of an anomaly, the Lions' offense has not been good on the road. They haven't put up a lot of points. I like the Giants here. Normally, I'm with you on a Giants trap game. Like 8-2 just doesn't feel right for this team, but against this team, I think we're looking at the schedule moving forward, which again is how you get trapped. But we know we need a win here because we could be looking at losing a few of the next like 4 games. So I yeah, I'm liking the Giants here. I can't bring myself to pick the Lions on the road against almost any team. So it just happens to be my team that they're playing. And it's also the slider Sunday pick of the week. I don't know if you brought that up or not, but
Oh, I did not because I don't know
yeah,
what that means. But
it
okay.
doesn't mean anything, but it's the slider Sunday pick of the week.
I just feel like some sliders. That's all that got me thinking of is some
Yeah,
delicious,
I'm gonna have
fresh,
to
juicy sliders.
I'm gonna make a run to White Castle a little bit later on today
Okay.
for my boys.
Yeah, that one, dude. I'm obviously that's just one of those weird little,
Yeah, hey, you get a
those
gut feeling and you go with
strange
it.
gut feelings. Yeah, and I honestly couldn't care one way or the other. I don't I don't have any ill will towards the Giants. You know that. It's just the Eagles and the
Yeah,
Cowboys I want really to lose every fucking week. But
for sure.
uh, let's move right along to the Carolina Panthers headed to Charm City to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Panthers at 3-7. Ravens at 6-3, and the Ravens currently favored by double digits at 13 right now. I always am hesitant with these double digit spreads. I don't like them. It's a big red flag. But with
Yeah.
PJ Walker now on the sidelines and Baker Mayfield coming in, Panthers are just dog shit away from home. They're 0-4 away. That should be an easy victory. A fun game for those in purple. Give me the Ravens all day against the Baker Mayfield led Panthers.
Yeah, I like the Panthers defense a lot. I think they're very underrated. But the problem is they're going to be on the field the entire game because there's no chance in hell that Baker Mayfield, who has the lowest QBR of any quarterback this season and just looks awful, is going to come in and go to Baltimore and lead that offense to the promised land. It just is not going to happen. So the Panthers defense are going to be on the field the entire game. Lamar is going to run circles around people, and it's just going to be an ugly game, I think. It's unfortunate because I do like the Panthers more than most, I think. I think they're sneaky talented, but they're just, without PJ Walker, they are trash. And I didn't think that PJ Walker would be that much of a difference maker, but watching the difference between those two teams with Baker and with PJ Walker, it's night and day. So it really is like having a star quarterback on the sidelines when your backup is as bad as Baker Mayfield has been. So, and I don't think there's a chance that he surprises us, right? It's not like, oh well, he played against the Ravens in Cleveland for all those years, so no, he sucks. He's bad. So, Ravens. I think Ravens win easy. I'm not touching any more double-digit spreads this year, so I'm staying away from that. I also, the over-under could go either way. Leaning under, but don't love it. Ravens win easy. They win easy.
If there were an over-under for 3 and outs, I would take the over for the Panthers all day in this one. I think
absolutely
they'll lead in 3 and outs for Week 11, and they have allowed 12 rushing touchdowns this season, which is, of course, right there at the bottom of the league. Yeah. So, expect the Ravens to add a good 3 to 4 to that, in my opinion. I think, like you mentioned, Lamar is going to have a great day running all over the place, and that Panthers defense will see a lot of game time on Sunday. So,
yeah, it's going to be ugly, man. Brian Burns is going to have his hands full. It's not going to be pretty.
That closes out. Oh, no, it doesn't. That almost closes out our 1 o'clock games. I'd be remiss if I didn't get to.
We can skip this one. This one.
Damn it. I actually like this because it's interesting for me as a lifelong Redskins fan to see the Washington Commanders being heavily favored by popular pick. They're at 93% against the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd see that this season. Commanders only at 5-5, but it really does feel like a winning 5-5 if you're a fan, because again, that Monday night victory just really changes your whole perspective on an outlook on the year. And I do think it's a huge momentum boost now going from the best team in the NFL to the worst team in the NFL. Yes. Watch out. This is just setting up for one of those typical Redskins disappointments, but I do think it'll be close. There will be plenty of turnovers by both teams, but in the end, we'll do a better job of maintaining possession, consuming a lot of clock, and we'll see a lot of Brian Robinson, a lot of Antonio Gibson, and Commanders get the job done. They are currently favored by 3 points. And I think that's probably safe. I'd probably say they're going to win no more than 6 points against the Texans. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they whoop their ass, but I just I don't really like that one. The Texans haven't won a game at home either, so this would be their first home win if they're able to squeak by.
So their one win was on the road. I can't pick against the Commanders here. I mean, they're on the road. Yeah, they're coming off of a very emotional win, which is tough to do. It's hard to go on the road, get an emotional win like that, and then go on the road again. But the Texans are just bad, and I love what Heineke has done for that offense. The guys have completely bought into him. They're just they look like a much better team with him in. Now, the other thing I will add is the Redskins are like in a fight for the wild card. They are, and I think they know this, and I think that they know that the Packers are one of those teams that were on the radar for that, for another wild card spot, and they just saw them lose again. Now they know, like, hey, if we keep winning games, it could be an easy road for us. So let's keep it up. I think they keep that momentum going. Seeing the Packers lose could be a huge boost for them, and I don't think they get trapped. And Houston's just not good. So, and if Houston was smart, they'd be tanking. So they have no business winning any games. Commanders, easy pick.
if they can just hand the ball off to B-Rob and again
B-Rob.
try to stay consistent with what they did against Philly in terms of just holding onto the ball, draining out the clock. I have all the confidence that they'll be able to get this done. No stupid turnovers in their own side of the field. Because again, I think the only way they lose this is if they shoot themselves in the foot. Stupid penalties, stupid turnovers. That could absolutely set up for disaster. But I think they're going to get over 500 and they're going to get to 6-5, and it's going to set up for another great week for Skins fans everywhere. So
Awesome.
now we're getting into our 4:00 games. We'll start it off with a thriller in Mile High. The Las Vegas Raiders. Everybody will be watching this. Raiders headed to Denver to take on the Broncos. Raiders at 2-7. Broncos at 3-6. Broncos 2-2 at home. Raiders 0-5 away from Vegas. You know, this is one definitely calls for flip-flopping. It's flip-flopping all over the place, but I made a split decision on Tuesday morning during my morning cup of coffee, and I'm sticking with it. I'm going with the Broncos, and I do not like Denver at all, but at home against the shithole Raiders, I have to pick them. You know, over under at 41.5. You know our thoughts on Broncos and the over under. I mean,
under wagon,
under all day. And Broncos are currently favored by 2.5 points. It will be just a very boring game in Denver, but in the end, Broncos fans will have something to cheer for because I do think they'll get the dub, move to 4-6.
Normally when it's a low scoring game and it's a coin flip matchup, I lean into the home team. But one of my favorite Who songs is Won't Get Fooled Again.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not let the Broncos fool me again.
Oh, no.
I'm done picking them, even at home, even against a 2-7 team. I hate them.
I don't blame you.
Awful. They are such a bad team. And it's a shame because they've got an elite defense. But their offense is so bad. Hackett is a horrible coach. Russell Wilson is a horrible quarterback. And again, I'm bitter because I'm thinking back to all of the preseason hype I put behind this team, and they burned me. And I'm holding a grudge. I'm picking against them, even if it's at my own detriment. I hate them. I can't trust them. They suck. I'm going with the Raiders to go on the road and win a game for the first time this season, even though they're a fucking hot mess too. I still like them more than the Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, again, I got a close one. I think we'll see a lot of rushing yards for both teams. I mean, I do like the Broncos defense, but I think that's mostly on their secondary, in the back end side of their defense.
Man.
They're pretty average run D in Denver, and I think Josh Jacobs, if he's playing, which I'm sure he is, I haven't heard any injury news. He should expect to have a good outcome on that one, or a good outing, I should say. So, again, close one, come down to the wire, a nail biter for Raiders and Broncos fans. I just am giving the edge to the Broncos at home. If they were in Vegas, probably leaning the other way in this one, but I'm just, the altitude, that altitude might, fuck with the Raiders a little more. And hey, is Josh McDaniel, is he on any sort of a hot seat? I mean, we've talked about it a couple times, but
he would be if I were the owner.
If they lose to the Broncos, and go to 2-8, I feel like that would pretty much, and 0-6 away, they would have to have a conversation. Like, what are we doing here? Are we really building something? Or
if you look at his record as a head coach, after he got caught with that cheating scandal a few years back, I don't know if you remember that, but he got caught filming the other practices, right?
Yeah.
Good old New England system that he brought over to Denver. His record is horrible after that.
Oh, that's right.
He was like 6-0. He was 6-0 while he was cheating, And then I can't remember what it is, but he's far behind 500 as a head coach. I think he's kind of a fraud. I think he's just one of those cases, kind of like Hackett, great
Mhm.
offensive coordinator, terrible head coach. It
Yep.
happens.
Yep.
So I think both these guys at this point finish out the season, but man, you got to look to cut ties with both of them after this. Uh, One bet that I love from this game, aside from the under, which we'll get to, spoiler, field goals over. Over, I think usually the line is like 3.5 over. I could see each team kicking 3 field goals on their own. So whatever the field goal over number is, hammer that over. Because you've got the altitude, you've got stud kickers, you got mediocre offenses, good defenses. Field goal over
My-
for sure.
My boy Daniel Carlson, MVP
Daniel
of the
Carlson.
Raiders. He's been on a kicking drought recently, man. But that's because the Raiders aren't even getting in position to score anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And they turn over the ball. But yeah, I agree. I think finally we'll see Carlson get a good 3 to 4 field goals under his belt and help out both my fantasy teams. So. Oh, and then and I'm going against you this week. So
that's right. Yeah, we didn't touch it.
You.
We didn't touch on it in the podcast, but big week, rivalry week.
It's about damn. It took till week 11, but it's finally
week
here.
11. But yeah, I mean, it's an important week, right? We're both fighting for playoff spots, so the big week. We'll have a full recap in the next podcast that we do.
Literally we played everybody else in the league before we played each other. What are the fucking odds of that shit?
I don't know.
And we're both at 500. We both need this victory, so we'll see what happens with that. And then we'll see what the popular opinion from ESPN users is on who they feel is going to win. Is it Old Man Jones or the Bunker Hill Booze Hounds? We'll find out.
I bet it's 50-50. I bet it's the Jets Patriots.
It's an even split. It's a coin toss.
Split.
Dallas Cowboys are headed to Minnesota to take on the purple hot Vikings. Vikings, again, they proved me wrong. I thought that 7-1 was a fraud after that close win against my boys, but they just showed me that no, they're legit. They're gunning for that NFC championship, and at this point, I could totally see it happening. We all knew how talented of a man Justin Jefferson is, but he just keeps surprising you week after week.
So fucking good.
He's just a freak of nature, and I love seeing the guy play, and I can't wait to see him torch this Cowboys defense that is just they're plummeting. They've been so good and so consistent up until like the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Vegas has the Cowboys favored at 1.5 for this one. Vikings undefeated at home at 4-0. No chance. I just don't see the Vikings losing this one. This one is a lock for me. Give me the Vikings getting to 5-0 at home and 9-1, just bringing the Cowboys to 6-4 down to earth, and that will put them only a game and a half ahead of my boys. So
yeah,
if all goes well.
Have you played each other yet?
We did. They beat us handily, but that was with Carson Wentz. We were a different team, so
gotcha.
We'll
so
see. We'll see them in the last game of the season.
Right now. Gotcha.
We'll make up for that.
They've got the tiebreaker right now. So this one, if you rewind and take all of your arguments for picking the Lions over the Giants, I'm gonna copy paste those arguments, put them on the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys go in and win, and I don't really have a great reason why. It's kind of a gut feeling. When I saw that line come out, it's one of those things where you see it and you're like, well, that doesn't make sense. And when it doesn't pass the sniff test, sometimes you got to lean into the thing that smells like shit. And that Cowboys line kind of smelled like shit, but I'm leaning into it because it's just more of a gut feeling, and a lot of times Vegas just knows. And I think a lot of people are going to kind of be tricked by it and go, oh, the Vikings are getting points at home, hammer it, and then look back and kind of, I don't know, feel foolish. But I do think that it is a true coin flip of a game. I mean, I could go either way on this. The Vikings are obviously the more talented team. They're at home. Their quarterback is better. Their weapons are miles ahead. But for whatever reason, I like the Cowboys. Another thing to consider here, now that we're into daylight savings time, a 3:25 or a 4:25 start, 3:25 in Central Time where they'll be playing, it's gonna be dark out by the time you get to that fourth quarter. And once that sun goes down,
that's a good point. That's
bad
a great
Kirk
point.
Cousins, he's like a werewolf. That sun goes down, and he turns into a bad man, not in a good way. And I don't know, see him fucking it up in the fourth quarter. If that sun goes down and he fucks up in the fourth quarter, then there is real method to that madness of Kirk Cousins only playing well when the sun is out. But yeah, Cowboys. I've been defending it too long. I don't have a good reason for it, but just a gut feeling, Cowboys.
I think Cousins' fear of the dark probably has a lot to do with Vegas's opinion, and Cousins 2-8 against Dallas in his career, so he doesn't like playing the Cowboys, and that probably played a little part in this point and a half favorite towards the Cowboys in this one. So, I do agree it's a coin flip, but I still think the Vikings they're going to start hot. And Dallas might make it close at the end, but they're going to be able to hold on and get enough done to win this one. So,
okay,
give me the Vikings. Let's move right along. Divisional matchup right here in the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals at 5-4, going to Steeltown to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are sitting at 3-6. Bengals currently favored by 4 points. This one really shouldn't be as much of a coin flip. Of course, the popular vote is going in the Bengals' direction, 88%. I know the Steelers are coming off of that win against the Saints. Saints, just a different team. They're a team finding themselves. They're a team that just is constantly making mistakes. And yes, the Steelers did beat the Bengals. What was it, week 1? Maybe it was week 2 if it wasn't week 1, but it was a different time in the season where the Bengals were going through a little bit of a slump. Give me the Bengals to win this one and win comfortably. I think I would take the 4 points, and I would probably give the Bengals at least a 9-point victory in this one.
Yeah, I actually, anytime I see a divisional game, I go, all right, pump the brakes. Yes, the Bengals are way better, but let's not go crazy here. Steelers are at home. That's fine. But then I really thought about it, and the Bengals are coming off a bye. And week 1 when they played, Joe Burrow hadn't taken any reps in training camp or preseason because I think he was coming off surgery or something. So that was like a preseason game for him, right? He was shaking off some rust.
Yep.
The Bengals are going to blow out the Steelers this week.
Ooh.
I feel it in my heart. Now, I won't be betting it because of that divisional factor. I tend to stay away from division games, betting the team that's on the road. But I think that the Bengals are a legitimately good team. I think the record at 5-4 doesn't reflect that because of those early season losses. Back when we were all counting them out, and I was saying, haha, I told you so. I told you they were going to miss the playoffs before the season. But then I've watched them since then. They look good, and they're going to be on a mission. And coming off a bye week, I just trust them to have a better scheme and draw something up for the Steelers and beat the shit out of them. So Bengals big.
I look for Joe Burrow to have a day in Pittsburgh.
Jamar Chase is still out, though, right?
Jamar Chase is still out, but with Boyd and Higgins, they'll still get it done. Steelers have allowed 18 passing touchdowns this year. They allowed 264 yards per game through the air.
Okay.
It's going to be a fun day for Burrow and co. They will get it done, even if they can't get a whole lot done on the ground, because I think that's where the strength is for the Steelers, especially with TJ Watt back. don't expect to get a whole lot of rush yards. Sorry, Mixon, but I still like the Bengals. They're not going to have to run. They're just going to be all over. I don't know why he's going to switch arms mid-game, but
Yeah,
that's how good he's going to be playing.
Only Mahomes can pull that off.
Okay.
But maybe Burrow could too. He might be ambidextrous. I don't know.
Yeah, well, who knows?
We'll find out.
If we see that one play where he throws with his other arm, I'm going to shit.
We're going straight to Vegas if he throws a left-handed touchdown.
We're done. We're going to have to take a little hiatus from this and go to Vegas.
Thanksgiving in Vegas.
There you go. All right, so that's it. Those are our day games for Sunday. So now we're getting into prime time, and we're going to get spoiled yet again with our prime time games, man. Sunday night football should be a thriller. I love it when these two teams play. Kansas City Chiefs and the Chargers, always a high-scoring affair, at least like the last 3 or 4 times they've met. Chiefs, they're the road team going to LA. They're at 7-2 overall this season. Chargers at 5-4. Chiefs 3-1 away. Chargers 2-2 at home. Chiefs favored by 5. They should be favored right now. But this one, I just have that feeling that this is a good opportunity for Justin Herbert to show everybody that he's not just one of those, 1-year wonder or 2-year wonder type guys. He's legit, and he's going to be one of those franchise QBs to be reckoned with for the foreseeable future. I got a high-scoring affair. 51.5 is your over-under there. Over all day, and I like the Chargers to get the upset at home against the potential Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, because they are our favorites right now. So, but they'll slip up just a tad.
Hey, wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, how high I've been on the Chargers coming into the year, and how, I still love them week to week. Their roster is bananas. They should be, and we won't probably know until Sunday, but Mike Williams and Keenan Allen should be back for this game. They've been practicing all week. They should be back. I don't think anything's definitive has come out just yet. I do like the Chargers to keep it real close, but I'm picking the Chiefs because I can't pick the Chiefs or pick against the Chiefs because they're the Chiefs. That's not necessarily the best way to go about it, but that's my reasoning behind it. I'm picking them until they lose. If I pick them and they lose, I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. I'm probably picking them regardless of matchup, regardless of where they're playing. I'm picking the Chiefs every week for the rest of the year because I like them so much as a team. But would it surprise me if the Chargers came in and won this game? Absolutely not. Again, loaded roster, at home, hungry. You talk about picking the hungry dog to win. No dog is hungrier in the NFL than these Chargers.
There's one dog here is a little hungrier, but
he's probably starving. But equally starving are the Chargers. So wouldn't surprise me at all. I just can't pick against the Chiefs right now.
I gotcha. I hear you. I definitely don't think they're going to go undefeated for the remainder of the season. We've seen them slip up before against the likes of the Indianapolis Colts away from home. I don't think it'll be that type of disaster, obviously. Again, this will just be all offense, all over the place, shootout, and I'm just giving the Chargers the edge because I think Justin Herbert's going to have his fucking day. Like, this will be the game of the season for him.
Playing against your fantasy team again. There we go.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's my
damn
QB.
it.
That's my guy.
Oh well.
Yeah. Which is probably why he will explode, because it's a rival. He knows how important that game is to us, and he doesn't care about the Chargers. He cares about showing up for me and for Old Man Jones.
That's
the
true.
True team that he really is passionate about. So he knows it's a big game for us. He'll show up for it. With that said, I still like Kansas City.
And the Chiefs secondary is
Average.
Yeah, they've allowed 19 passing touchdowns this year. So that's, again, that's towards the bottom. Their secondary not too great, but usually they score so many points it really doesn't matter. But again,
Right.
they're going to go tit for tat in this one, and I'm just giving the Chargers the edge.
Like
Let's
it.
go. Monday Night Football. We're going to get another divisional game on Monday night. This one is the NFC West. The San Francisco 49ers are headed to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. And I understand why a lot of people don't even really put much thought into this one. Immediately go with the 49ers. I mean, they are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. They're extremely fun to watch. They got so many offensive weapons. 5-4, I could definitely see them getting to 6-4. But I mean, this
see
one.
where this is going.
No, this one.
See where this is
What
going.
I want to say is I could totally see this one going either way. I don't have the 49ers as my heavy favorite, but I do have them getting the win. And I think it's more of a statement win for them to kind of show that they are completely taking control of that division from the Seahawks, even though they're not playing them. I think is just, putting more pressure on the Hawks, and they're favored by 8 points. I don't like that. Stay far, far away from that. But when it comes to win or loss, I do like the 49ers getting the victory. I mean, I'm not seeing my, of course, for that whatever reason on that one, they're not telling me my stat line of the home and away records. I do like to see that. But
Okay.
I guess it really doesn't fucking matter because I think either way I'd be going with the 49ers, right? So, but.
Yeah, dude, the Niners, I put them in my top 5 for power ranking. If I don't pick them, that would be outrageous. I have to pick them, and I'm picking them with confidence because I really do think that they are a top to bottom complete team with Pro Bowlers at every unit on their roster. They are legit. They are good. They know they need this game. They look like a 6-4 team, which is what they'll go to. The Cardinals look like a 4-7 team, which is what they'll go to. I know it's a divisional game on the road, but I would lay the 8 points. I would take the points with San Francisco, and I actually have this game 30-17 San Francisco for a total of 47 points. Just in case there's a tiebreaker.
We both said 47 points.
Are you serious?
Fuck
That's
it.
funny.
We picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, so there won't be, it won't come down to it. That will split it by itself, right? So it won't come down to the total points. Yeah, it will, because that's an odd number. Oh wait, you picked the Chiefs. Fuck. All right, never mind. Well, fuck it. I picked 47 because I picked the 24-23 scoreline. I think it's just going to be one of those, it comes down to the wire. It looks like the Cardinals are going to actually edge out the 49ers, and then Robbie Gould, who I believe is still their kicker, he kicks the game-winning field goal to bring it to 24-23 and give them the win. No, I called it. I was like, watch, we're going to pick the same fucking amount of points. I knew it. I just knew it.
That's wild. I just changed mine to 48, by the way, because 31-17 sounds even better.
31-17, yeah. That's an ass whooping. So, that's just a complete ass whooping right there.
Lay those 8. I'm telling you, man. San Fran, they're going to be feeling good. The Cardinals are shitting their pants. Kyler Murray's going to be playing Call of Duty all weekend.
I'm an idiot. We didn't even mention that. No wonder they're not showing away and home stats. It's a neutral field. They're in Mexico
It's in Mexico.
City.
That's right. I forgot.
Wow. I mean, okay. They're playing at the Azteca. So,
shit.
That makes it even more interesting, which, again, there's probably going to be more Cardinals fans in Mexico than there will be 49ers. But then again, who knows? There's a lot of Mexicans in the Bay Area. So, am I allowed to say that? Mexicans in the Bay Area? I feel like that's
racist.
You can't say there are Mexicans in the Bay Area. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Mexico's team is probably the Dallas Cowboys. They used to be America's team. Now they're Mexico's team. I think that, yeah, that does change a little bit. One, it makes me more confident in the 49ers. Two, that's that stadium is even at a higher altitude than Mile High, right? So they're going to be airing it out. I like the weapons of San Francisco more. They're going to be kicking 80-yard field goals because they're so high up in the air. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really change anything for me. San Francisco, hammer it home. Lay the 8 points. Do it. Just do it. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, well, I mean, we both agree on the winner and loser. So,
Yep.
all
Yep.
things
Yep. Yep. Yep.
considered,
Yep.
it might come down to that one point when we get the 47-point total. But with 6 games differing, I don't think we're going to split. I think one of us is going to, take a commanding lead, even though you already have one right now, up by 5 games. So
Yeah.
I need at least 5 of those to go my way in
Wow.
order to.
That would be back-to-back huge weeks for you if that's the
Yep.
case. Back-to-back. So, hey, man, I hope you're right. But that's all of them, right? We got to move on to the.
Those are our picks. So now we're going to move right along to this weekend's parlay.
Love it, love it, love it. I just got to get pulled up here. There we go.
Tough loss for us last week. We went 5-1. 5-1 for like the 4th time in the history of our weekend parlays. We're really good. We're really good at those.
We keep picking the underdogs correctly. That's what kills me.
We're solid at underdogs. Anybody listening, put all your money on our underdogs. They're gonna land.
And then it's the coin flips that just fuck us over. It's pretty wild that we both hit our underdogs yet again. And a coin flip ruined it. And it was my coin flip. I own it. I'm looking back on that game thinking, what the fuck was I thinking? It made so much sense given the Browns 3.5 points, but the Dolphins, man, they are legit. They're here. So that was stupid of me, and I regret it, and I'm sorry.
That is in the past. We're moving forward, and we're gonna
redeem
ourselves. We're gonna redeem ourselves. Week 11 parlay looking good. Let's start off with our favorites. Who you got, Josh?
My favorite is the second favorite. Your favorite is my favorite, but my favorite is the Eagles. Minus 315 playing the Colts. They're gonna be pissed. I don't care that they're on the road. I don't care that they just lost to the Redskins. They are so much better than the Colts. They're going to go in there, give them hell. Don't necessarily trust any spread numbers, but the Eagles' money line is a safe bet this week. Playing pissed. Love them.
I wanted to pick the Eagles as my favorite, but you told me you wanted to pick Eagles as your favorite, so I stole your other favorite, which is the Baltimore Ravens, getting an easy victory at home against the Carolina Panthers at minus 715. So definitely a big, huge, stinky favorite there. So lock those up. Check and check for our favorites this week. Now let's move right along to our coin toss. Who you got?
I have got the Broncos Raiders under. That's just, it hits every week. Broncos
It's a must. It's a must.
They are the number 1 scoring defense and the 32nd scoring offense. They are an under machine, just themselves. Then you're going up against the Raiders, who are a hot mess. Their offense hasn't been good. They've got a decent enough defense. They've got some pass rushers at least. I see this game being super low scoring. Like we said earlier, a 16-13 type game. I think it stays well below the 41.5 points that they're giving us. Raiders, Broncos, say no more. Rewind it if you want to hear more about it.
No, I love the under there. Let's go to my coin toss. I'm going with you didn't like it, but I'm going with the Minnesota Vikings to get to 9-1 at home against the Dallas Cowboys, even though they are underdogs by 1.5. Vegas leaning towards the Cowboys, and again, it might just be that sun going down and the The curse that is with Cousins playing Dallas. But again, this is a different Vikings team, and this is the first time he'll be playing the Cowboys with a weapon named Justin Jefferson. So I feel really good about the Vikings getting the win. That is plus 102 for a solid coin toss.
A true coin flip at plus 102. And again, I couldn't even give a good reason why I like Dallas. So by all means, love that play. Love the value there. Getting plus money on Vikings at home. That's value. For my underdog, I had to go ahead and move the line because none of the spreads or none of the money lines were coordinating with any of the underdogs that I've picked. They weren't quite high enough, so I had to take an underdog, move that line a little bit to make them a favorite, and the team I did that with is the Chicago Bears, who are currently getting 3 points in Atlanta. I think they win by at least a field goal, so I moved the line to Bears minus 2.5, which gives us plus 150 odds. I think that I really like the Bears this week. I know you have the Falcons, but again, it's a coin flip, and I think it's a track meet. Love the over in that game as well, but for our parlay purposes, I had to move a line, and that's the line I like the most. Bears only minus 2.5. Getting you plus 150 to me seems like endless value.
Yeah, and again, that one, even though I said stay far away from it, whatever,
did you? That's hilarious.
Yeah, because I just, again, I don't think either of those, the Falcons or the Bears, are reliable. But you got that gut feeling, and again, now we're seeing a different style offense from the Bears these last 2 weeks, and how will the Falcons be able to handle that? I think they'll be prepared, but again, for the sake of our parlay, I hope that the Bears win by at least a field goal here. So let's go to my underdog. And if I didn't make it crystal clear before, I'm going to Sunday Night Football, where I got the LA Chargers getting the win at home against the 7-2 Chiefs, and a shootout. In all likelihood, the game of Week 11. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Chargers on the money line is at plus 210 for this one. So there you go. Those are our 6 picks, and that
totaled up. Those 6 picks bring you to plus 44.23 odds, meaning $6 will pay out $271.39. Again, $6 is the tradition, and we are overdue for one. We are going to hit one. This week feels really good. I love the picks this week. Value at every single level. So I think we're in really good shape here, B.
We either have to go 6-0 or just both of us just completely shit and do terrible. No more 5-1.
No more 5-1.
We're done with 5-1.
5-1 is worse than 0-6.
I'd be fine with 3-3 over 5-1, because at least you don't get bonus points or consolidation or whatever you want to call it for you got close. No, you lost. All right. And, we're not going to lose. We're going to get there. We're going to hit this 265. I might double down on it to get us to a little over 500 to add to that BRASH budget, because we need every penny we can get.
Yeah, my microphone situation's still fucked up. Still using this stupid thing. I don't know. We'll get it figured out, though. We'll get there one day.
With that hat, it kind of looks like you work at a fast food place, because it looks like a logo of like a...
It's Buc-ee's. So yeah, I'm taking orders.
You're at the drive-thru,
and it kind of sounds like I'm in the drive-thru too when I listen back to it. But hey, man, gotta make it work for now. One day. And by the way, if any potential investors are listening, we're happy to set up a business plan. We'll put a slideshow together. If you're interested in investing, our Shark Tank valuation is like $500,000 for 5%.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if you want to hear the arguments why, just email Cindy at brashsports.com. and make sure you attach your resume. She'll go ahead and follow up with you.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up our Pick'em Pandemonium of Week 11. Thanks for joining me, my friend. And yeah, we'll get ready for another exciting Sunday and Monday of football.
Always a blast, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks to all of our Brash Plus subscribers, and we'll catch you next week for episode 16. Will be coming up. So Thanks again.
All right. See you, buddy.
Later, buddy. Peace.